Hey everyone, it's Esmond, welcome to the channel. And I found that many Magic the Gathering players ask many questions. And for me, one of my biggest questions is whether or not my commander deck is strong enough. Is it too strong? Is it overpowered? Or is it underpowered at this table? So in today's video, we are going to take a look at two different builds of Tiamat at two different power levels, friendly and powerful. But I have only changed 5 cards between the two builds. So this video is really about finding that, super fine line between what is a friendly deck as compared to what is a powerful deck. So this is Tiamat. For 7 mana, we can tutor out 5 different dragons, and that pretty much means that we pay 7 and draw 5 of our most powerful dragons in the deck. So obviously she is very powerful, and therefore, even the friendly build is going to be on the stronger end of the spectrum. It is way too strong to compete with precons, but definitely too weak for anything near EDH or competitive level. This means that while the main focus of the deck is its theme, there are also a bunch of individually powerful, really efficient cards that make the deck very fast and consistent. And of course, Tiamat being a tutor herself also increases the overall consistency of the deck. But of course, being a friendly deck, the aim is mostly to beat down with dragons and create treasures, because obviously Tiamat loves treasure. So this is the deck, Tiamat's Treasures, and we're going to start with the first category, all about dragons and treasures. These are the cards that care about our theme, which is dragons and treasures. We have Dragon Tempest, gives our dragons or creatures with flying haste, and it helps to ping our opponents or creatures that we want to get rid of. Masked Vandal, removal for artifacts or enchantments. It's a dragon, don't worry. Nameless Inversion. We're playing these changelings because they can be tutored out with Tiamat. This is actually a dragon type, so you can find it with Tiamat, and it acts like a removal spell. Orb of Dragonkind, ramping us into dragons and also helping us find dragons. Crypt Swap, another changeling type removal spell. Dragon's Horde, some card draw and ramp. Realm Walker, some card advantage. Dragonborn Champion, card advantage as well. Galazeth Prismari, making treasure tokens because, like I said, this deck has treasure synergies. And Smothering Tithe, of course, is in there. Crux of Fate, board wipe for all, dragons or non-dragons, depending on what we choose. Goldspan Dragon, more treasures, more dragons. Morit of the Frost, it's another changeling, lets us copy any permanents we control. Revel in Riches, it's a wincon with treasures. Then we have Scion of the Dragon, helps us to find dragons, put them in our graveyard and copies them for their turn. Scourge of Valkas, another way to ping opponents when dragons ETBs. Then we have Skitterix, the Infect Dragon that can get haste and can be regenerated, really strong. Terror of the Peaks, another way to ping our opponents. Dragonlord Dromoka with lifelink, but more importantly, making sure our opponents can't cast spells during our turn. Dragonlord Kolagan, giving our creatures haste. Dragonlord Silumgar, helping us to gain control of target creature or planeswalker. Hellkite Tyrant, another alternate wincon if we have 20 or more artifacts. Lefthless, the Dragon Queen, helping us make more dragons. Molten Steel Dragon, it's in here as a cheap dragon that can be buffed up really big. Savage Ventmaw, giving us mana when it attacks. Steel Hellkite, just removal. Balefire, also removal. Beldross Witherbloom, giving us more mana as well as tokens that can gain us life. Drakuseth, more flames for more removal. Old Gnawbone, giving us a bunch of treasures when our dragons connect. Udvara Hellkite, giving us a bunch of dragon tokens. And of course the Dragon himself for card advantage and cheating stuff into play. So that's the dragons and treasures. Then we have a big value and interaction suite, 18 cards in total. We have a bunch of tutors, Enlighten, Mystical, we have Noxious Revival, Vampiric Tutor, Worldly Tutor, a counterspell, Demonic Tutor, Finale of Devastation, another tutor that can get stuff out of our graveyard. Heroic Intervention to protect our things, Lightning Greaves for haste and protection, Mana Drain counterspell, Sylvan Library for card advantage. We have Aggravated Assault, which is a combo piece in this deck, but also just good stuff for dragons if you want to attack more than one time a turn. We have Chaos Warp removal, Claw's Will, one of the new cards from the newest precon. It's removal basically. Rhythm of the Wild, making sure our creatures can't be countered, and also, pseudo haste if we decide to give it haste. Temur Ascendancy for card draw and giving our creatures haste once again. Then finally we have Austere Command as a modular board wipe. So as you can tell, we have a bunch of ways to go infinite in the deck. The first one is to get infinite combat steps with Aggravated Assault and Savage Ventmaw. It's very simple. Savage Ventmaw attacks, gives us 6 mana, we pump that mana into Aggravated Assault, get another combat step, and attack again with Savage Ventmaw. It's a loop. Infinite combat steps. And the second way we can go infinite is through infinite damage. What happens is we need these 3 dragons, and Terror of the Peaks can be replaced with Scourge of Vel'Kas. Or if you have a Dragon Tempest on the board, it works as well. So you want Bladewing the Risen to come in, return anything to the field, and then have Morit of the Frost enter, copying Bladewing the Risen. So with the trigger on the stack, one of them will die to the legend rule, and then the trigger resolves and you bring back the other Bladewing. So essentially the 2 Bladewings just keep dying, and every time it ETBs again, the Terror of the Peaks will trigger and you can shoot that damage to your opponents an infinite amount of times and win from there. So those are the 2 ways we can go infinite with dragons. Next we have our Ram package. We have Crypt, Birds of Paradise, the Hierarchs, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Farseek, Felwa Stone, Nature's Law 3 Visits, and Chromatic Lantern. And it's a nice mix of fast mana and fixing for our colors, so that we can find all 5 colors as soon as possible. And having 11 Ram spells also give us more than 70% chance to get one by turn 3. And then we have our lands. We have 37 lands, so this mana base is really quite optimized. We're playing the fetch lands, the dual lands, the shock lands. We have Cavern of Souls, Command Tower. We have Haven of the Spirit Dragon. It's a color fixer for dragons as well as some recursion. Then we have Triomes. We have Indatha, Katria, and Zagoth, the 3 triomes that have the forest subtype, so that we can find them with our 3 visits and Farseeks and stuff. And yeah, we have 1 MDFC in Balaget Recovery, just for some additional graveyard recursion in case we need it. So yeah, that is the friendly build, and as you can see, there are a ton of powerful cards. The mana base is almost fully optimized. We have a ton of tutors, but overall it's still really thematic and flavorful. Even the combo lines are really, focusing on the dragons, and we're just using Tiamat as a way to find these key pieces, but she can also just be used to find answers or protection depending on the board state. And the focus is definitely more on the deck building self-expression. The thematic elements are really the focus of the deck here. Alright, so let's move on to the powerful build, which is essentially the same deck just with 5 different cards. Now obviously these builds are going to be really similar in terms of power level, where we're trying to find that fine line here, but the difference is the focus of the deck. And in this powerful build, the focus is on winning earlier, more consistently, and we do that by adding in more combo lines. This means that the theme is not going to be as strong, and we're instead replacing the thematic cards with powerful cards. So here we go, this is Tiamat's Terrors, and how we structure the build is also slightly different. With a stronger focus on winning earlier, we're more interested to see how we win. So this is the first of the 5 different cards. It's Dream Halls. And how this works is that instead of paying the casting cost for a spell of any color, we can just choose and discard a card that shares a color with that spell and just cast it for free. This means that with Tiamat in the command zone, we can discard any colored card, cast Tiamat, and find 5 dragons. So we can get these 3, and we can get 2 more dragons. Then what we do is we just discard Terror of the Peaks, put in Bladewing the Risen. When it ETBs, we get Terror of the Peaks back onto the field, and then we do the whole Morit entering as a copy of Bladewing. The Bladewing dies, it brings itself back. Basically, it's the whole loop, the same loop as before, but this time we can just do the whole loop for 5 mana when we play Dream Halls. And that just increases the speed of this deck by so much. So then we have the same infinite combat steps with Savage Ventmaw and Aggravated Assault. And then we have 2 more new cards that were not in the previous deck. It's Dockside and Temur Sabertooth. And as long as Dockside Extortionist can make 5 treasures, we have an infinite loop here where we can return Dockside to our hand using Temur Sabertooth, and then cast it using the treasures, and then return it back to our hand, cast it again, and just get infinite treasures. And of course we have Revel in Riches as one of the ways to win. But with the infinite treasures, we can also just sink it all into something like aggravated assault, or we can just keep casting and recasting Tiamat, finding all the dragons, finding this entire loop, and yeah, just straight up win from there. And to me, this is what kind of pushes it over the line from friendly to powerful, because now we have a way to generate infinite mana, and we have a bunch of outlets in which we can use this mana to win the game. So then we have the same cards basically as what we saw in the previous deck, but of course in terms of the synergy, it's fewer cards, so no new cards here. And then in our value and interaction package, once again, we see a bunch of tutors. The difference is that now these tutors can find additional key pieces because we have more key pieces in the deck. We have more 2-card or 3-card combos in the deck. These tutors essentially become copies of that card, and that's what makes these tutors more powerful in this deck as compared to the previous deck. So the only difference here is that we are playing another tutor in Idyllic Tutor, and we have Sneak Attack. So Idyllic Tutor is in this deck because in this build we are relying a lot more on enchantments to win, and Sneak Attack is one of those new enchantments. So for 4 red mana, it gets onto the field, and then we can pay 1 red and basically just cheat a creature onto play immediately. So with this, things like Belladros becomes really powerful, because if we tutor out Belladros with Tiamat, all we need then is just 1 red. We can put in Belladros, he can untap our lands, and then we can sneak in all the other dragons. So Sneak Attack, another way to cheat on mana, really powerful way that can accelerate our combo plan. Then we have the ramp package, it's the same stuff, and we have the lands. So I've removed 1 land from this, which is the World Tree, but everything else is the same. So these here are the 5 cards that came out of the previous deck, and these are the 5 cards that were put in. And yeah, that's basically it. That's 5 cards that, to me personally, makes the difference between a friendly and a powerful build. Honestly, I think that the friendly build is already quite powerful, but the fact that it is so focused on the theme of dragons, of treasures, winning through beatdown and winning through getting all the treasures, that's what makes it friendly to me. Whereas the second deck, the powerful build, is more focused on winning and winning as fast as possible, using more combo lines, utilizing more of these what I call, dead cards, because they don't really synergize with the rest of the deck. Like this is just a random enchantment, this is just here to make extra mana, this is just here to sneak in creatures. So these are just dead cards to me, and the fact that they're not thematic just makes it more focused on the power, more focused on winning. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know what other commanders I should build around. That's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, like the video, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.